Hello and welcome to another action figure vehicle video. I wanted to do something a little bit different today and show you all a build in progress and kind of what some of the work that goes into some of these. Today I'm working on this custom tumbler. This is, so for those who know, or those who don't know rather, they haven't made a tumbler, an affordable tumbler rather, in the scale of like a 112, 110, Mezco / NECA style scale, other than the Soap Studios remote control tumbler, which was, I think it was like $400 or $500 new, and now in the aftermarket it's way more. So and it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's got like remote control from a phone app, and it lights up and makes sounds and all that stuff, and which is great. Those kinds of purchases can be really hard to justify, and so and also I get a lot of joy out of kind of making these things on my own, or augmenting things that already exist. So I recently found out about this thing. This is you can see I've cut myself a couple times working on this. This is a fold-out playset that is shaped like a tumbler. So essentially, you can see the hinges here that I've cut. What this is you can stand it up on like these back wheels, and it folds open, like this. And there are these fold-down little platforms and stuff. And it's like, got a little Arkham jail cell and a bunch of other little platforms and things, and like a little train that would come out the bottom. I'll insert some pictures over the video as I'm narrating what it was, so you can see what it looks like. One of the pleasures I get out of this is trying to do it on a budget. This thing was $30 shipped, so I got it for $20 on Mercari and then $10 shipping. And, of course, I'm buying supplies for it too, and I'll get into that. But so I wanted to show you what it looked like as I'm going, because hopefully it's going to look way different when I'm done. It's a pretty soft mold, all in all. The tumbler has these fins that are like a separate kind of like, they're spoilers, I guess. They're separate pieces. And this has them kind of molded in, and, through these blocks here. So that's not going to be, 100% accurate as far as the aesthetic goes. But what I plan to do is cut some pieces of styrene, which is like plastic sheets, and put them over this, individual pieces to give it more of that accurate look. The other thing about this was that the windows were molded in. I'll show you. This was the window for this here. So it was just this shinier plastic. It's got a little bit of a gloss to it. And so I cut these out because I want to actually put some clear plastic in there and give it a little bit more depth, so it doesn't just like look like a molded thing. I don't know that I'm going to be making a full interior for this thing. Maybe like a seat. I would love to cut the door, whatever this raising kind of hydraulic thing is that was in the movie where it comes up and he jumps in. But realistically, I think it's going to be really tough to do that, and I'll get into why. And also, I mean, it's going to sit on the shelf with Batman standing next to it, so I don't, putting him inside of it isn't going to do me a lot of good anyway. So, but I want to touch on some of the differences between this and the tumbler in the movie, and I'm actually I have one of the old Mattel ones here, and this will give you a bit of a size comparison. This is like the one that you press the button and the missiles come out the sides. So you can see here, I mean, I'll get a little better angle. This is much, much smaller. I mean, it's about half the size of this one. So, we never got one that, like I said, that was affordable that could go with this. So, but you can see here some of the differences right off the bat. This one sits way taller because it had to accommodate all this interior space. So, the actual tumbler is way more squat, right? And it's got a lot more kind of details and punch outs and depth here. Whereas this one, like I mentioned, is a little bit softer. So what I'll end up doing is taking more styrene and building out some of these side panels onto this. So it sits wider and has more screen accuracy. And here are the spoilers I was talking about. You can see these are like separate pieces, whereas here they're all molded in. So going to be doing some work there. Now let's get into this playset piece a little bit. First of all, it had 2 wheels in the back as opposed to 4 like the Tumbler, and they're just these big plastic guys, right? So they're, it's pretty cheesy. They're hollow on the inside. So what I've got to replace those is some of these 1/10 scale crawler wheels and tires. They're not perfectly accurate to the ones in the movie, but they're pretty close. There were 5 spokes on the screen used one. This has 6, obviously, but this is going to look pretty cool once these are all 4 back here. And I'm going to build the little flaps that go here that have like an air strut on them to kind of, regulate I don't know what the purpose was for the actual Tumbler, but I mean, this thing was pretty incredible. This is far and away my favorite Batmobile. I love the design of it. I love the explanation for it in the movies. And so I always really wanted one, and I finally found a way to kind of make one happen. So I'm going to show you what I've done here so far. These front wheels are very similar. They kind of have this little rail thing that went on the inside, and you pull it out, and that allows you to open the playset. So I took this off, again, same kind of thing as the back, just these kind of hollow wheels. And I wanted some accurate looking ones, so I picked up a Bat Pod. This is the Mattel Movie Masters version. I got it used. It was already kind of in rough shape, so that was helpful. But these wheels and tires are like the exact right size for this, so that scales nicely. They might be a little small, but it's going to work in the end because I'm trimming this bottom piece down, so it's actually going to sit a lot lower. And I've already done some of that on the other side, so I'll flip that and show you. But essentially, this thing, it would sit up on the back wheels like this. You open it up, and then all of these platform pieces would come out. So one of the bigger challenges for this is going to be to seal these 2 pieces together so that they're one. So right off the bat, my thought is going to be right off the bat. That was unintentional. My thought is going to be to probably reinforce the inside with some kind of brackets that join them together, and then that I can like screw down from either the inside or the outside, and then cover up any kind of screw heads with some of the extra styrene pieces that I plan to put on this, and then I'll probably put like a single piece of styrene across these to help seal it up and just unify it, and so we don't have a seam down the middle if we don't have to have one, as much as possible. You can see I still need to cut this window out. These are a little challenging because they have some of these like mounting pieces on the other side. So this is actually the other side of that window, and this is where I cut myself trying to cut this. I jammed a carpet cutter into my thumb, so that was cool. So you can see if I take this bottom piece away here, the body itself is like, that looks a lot more like the Tumbler. Like it's a lot more squat, sits low to the ground. You can see when this tire is in there, I mean, that's pretty much right on. So it's going to sit about like that. And it also, with these crawler wheels in there, I mean, it's pretty much the perfect size when it's all said and done, right? So the bottom piece here, what I'm actually doing is I've drawn a line. You can see the pencil marks here where I want to cut it, because it still needs a bottom on it. I can't just glue these pieces together and having it sit, hollow like that. So you can see I've already cut along here, along the length of it. I'm still trying to get around this bend here. My Dremel is not as strong for cutting through this as I thought it would be, so it's taking a little bit more time. And then I'm going to have to sand this all down and make it nice and flush so that this piece can join with it well. You can see some of the inner workings of, this would fold out with or pop out with a pop fold down platform on it. It would sit like this. And then back here, the jet engine thing, whatever. I don't know what it would be called on the Tumbler. You know, this is obviously like a cheapy plastic version of it, but that's about the shape of it. So what I've got here is just this kind of like outline. So the plan is going to be to cut this out, and I actually have a bottle that the bottleneck pretty much resembles the Tumbler almost perfectly. You know, I've been checking across photos on the internet of it. So I'm going to cut it out and then basically put the top half of the bottle. I'll show you, just I have some nail polish remover here as like an, you know, use as an example, but essentially the bottle is going to go in like that. And so then the mouth of the bottle I'm going to make to resemble the actual like engine burner on the Tumbler. So that kind of stuff is a fun part. A lot of fun, like little detailed bits in there. I also got a handful of these air shocks. And I actually found some in this kind of bronzy orange color, which is very similar to what the actual Tumbler uses. If you look at pictures of this thing online, it's got them all over the place. And you can actually see them molded into this version. So it's got the two here that regulate this little flap. You got them here, there. On the actual version, there are two like gold ones that come down this way that act as like some of the suspension or something for the front wheels. So I'm going to be duplicating those as best I can with some of these supplies. These are a little big, so I can't, and I have some black ones too. I can't use them across the whole thing because they're just way too out of scale, but these will work for like struts in the back for the large wheels, and then these in the front. And then I'm going to make some out of just like wood dowels, you know, put a drill into a wooden dowel, kind of like how this screwdriver looks. Have a thicker one and a thinner one, drill it in, and then paint this to match, you know, that gold color or black in the case of the side pieces. So I think once I get all of those on here, it's really going to help kind of redefine this. You know, I'll have some more styrene panels put on here to build the body out a little bit. And then those little struts will work as like nice accents to really bring some detail to this thing. And then the windows, I think, will help give it some depth. I haven't decided if they're going to be clear yet, or if I'm going to paint like black on one side of them, or even find some like window tinting material maybe to use. But yeah, I just wanted to show one of these kind of mid-build, so you can kind of see some of the work that goes into them and some of the thought process. And I think it'll be fun when it's done to see what changed along with it. Here's the top part to show you kind of how it's going to look. This part isn't cut off yet on the end, so I can't quite show you exactly the height of it, but it's going to be something like that. So that's a much better, more acceptable profile to me than that it was, which was, you know, significantly higher and just a little too round and a little too tall in the profile. So yeah, so that's just a kind of a quick overview of what's going on here. And I will check back in as I go with some more progress so you all can see how this thing is coming together. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and please be sure to check out RETROACTIVEcomic.com, where you can see a trailer for my new book that comes out in April. It's a graphic novel about time travel and espionage and a time loop. All right, thanks so much, and keep that head on swivel.